Hi everyone, I thought I'd just send you a very quick video about how I would teach a phonics lesson to the reception class. I've popped a PowerPoint on Seesaw and that teaches you about phonics and how phonics support reading and spelling. But this is just a very brief outline of a daily phonics lesson. Usually we would have had a phonics meeting with parents after school, but unfortunately we can't do that. So I thought this may be helpful to support you when you're supporting your child with the teaching of phonics. So what we would do, we would start with this screen. Jolly Phonics is what we follow, the scheme we follow. So we would look at this screen first and I'd say to the children, this is a sound we're going to learn today. And then they would all copy me and we would look at the letter. We've got the capital and the lowercase, and I would introduce the words capital. We do this, capital and lowercase. And then we would look, I would point to this with my pointer stick and I'd say, this letter is S, and the action of the day is S. We start again, S. And then we would look at the little screen, we would listen to a story. I won't play that for you now, but we would listen to a story all about this picture, and the children would listen out for any words that start with S, and then they would count them on their finger. And then we'd also use this picture. So the children might say sun, snake. We'd really emphasise the S at the start of the word, or stick. And then we would listen to the Jolly Phonics rhyme. And I know a lot of the children know these rhymes, but I'm going to play it to you quickly just to show you how we would do that in class.
The snake is in the grass, the snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass.
And then we would listen to the story, and we, like I said previously, and we'd look and listen for words that began with S. And the next part then, we would look at how we form the letter, because the first part of Jolly Phonics is recognising, introducing the sound, and then the next part would be forming the sound. So we would have a big letter, and I'd say to the children, what sound is this? And they'd go, S. And I'd explain to them then how we would start the letter. So I'd say to them, start at the top and around the corner. It's not at the very top, around the corner. We go, start at the top, around and down. S. And you keep saying S all the time. S, around and down. And before we do anything, then the children would form that on the floor, on their hands, so on their knee, on each other's backs. But we would always do a little warm-up rhyme just to get our fingers ready. So we usually do this one. Open and shut them, open and shut them, give a little clap. Open and shut them, open and shut them, lay them in your lap. Roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em, just like this. Shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, blow a little kiss. And then we'd warm up our thumbs and our fingers, and we'd dance them up our body and in our hair just to get ready. And then they're ready. We've talked about how our fingers are ready. They're dancing and they're ready to form the letter. So the children, like I said, may do it on the ground, they may do it on their arm, and then we would follow this. So it goes quite quick. I'll pop it for you. You see, we go around and the pencil went around. Start at the top and around the corner. And then I would use my whiteboard and I would show the children how I write it myself. I'm not expecting all the children to write it yet, we're just learning how it is formed. So I always write the letters on a line. We never have any letters floating in the air. So I'd start and I'd ask them, where does it start? See if they could remember. And we'd go round the corner. I'd always try and get my letters sitting on the line. And then the children will think of words that begin with s, or the sound of the day. Today was it, and then we've had t, and we've had a, and they think of different words. So one of the words they came up with for s, they may look at the screen that we had previously, sun, and we'd say sun. And then what another part is we would stretch that word out. That's called segmented, when we try to pull it apart to listen to the sound. And this comes on, we do this a lot more further on when all the sounds are introduced and the children have them up there. They have a lot more knowledge then. So it's sun. So what can you hear? Sun. So we'd go s, a, and then we would look at how many letters. How many letters first? S, 1, 2, 3. But then I would also count the sounds. Go s, a, So we'd go s, a, and then we would push it together. We'd blend it for reading. We'd go sun, sun. So that's another part of Jolly Phonics. But that carpet session is finished then, and the children then will go off with myself or one of the other adults, and we would practice formation. It may be in the sand, it may be with the paint, it may be with chalks. We'd find lots and lots of different ways. It may be with water and brushes, lots of different ways of forming that letter, and we'd leave them out around the classroom for what we call continuous provision, for the children to practice forming that letters independently. And further on, over the next few weeks, we will also introduce what we call tricky words. So I would introduce my tricky word hat, and I would put this on, don't laugh, and then I'd introduce my tricky word, and we'd only introduce probably 2 a week, and I would look at that, and these words are words that the children can't sound out. They are sight words, they're tricky. There may be part of the words they can sound, but they can't sound out the whole word. Not like this one, s, a, These tricky words, now this is the first one, I. And I would tell the children what the word is, I, and we would show it to them, and all day long then, I might say to them, what word is this? And they get used to it, I. And then later on in the spring term, pop that off now, later on in the spring term, and the summer, when they start to write, we'd start to introduce these tricky words then into their little sentences that they write by themselves. So that's a very quick whistle-stop tour of phonics. Like I said, I will send the PowerPoint home, and what I'm going to do at the minute, I'm going to send 5 sounds home at the moment while we're introducing the single sounds. So that will be for about 3 weeks. And then when we come to the digraphs, which are two letters with 1 sound, I will only send 3 sounds a week, but I will message you on Seesaw or email you to let you know when that's going to start. Every Monday I will send home the sounds of the week, and every day I will send you a video of the sounds of the week. And what I'd like you to do is I would just like you to use the Jolly Phonics booklet that we sent home as a flashcard it with your children, only the sounds that we've taught. And then the sheets, you could practice, if they are ready, practice going over the sounds that we taught that week or that day. If they're not ready, and they're not ready to hold a pencil, don't force them, we will work on that in class. There's lots of things we can do in class and you can do at home to get them ready to write. And one of the things you could do is things like peeling vegetables, ripping paper, using Play-Doh, squeezing, squashing, but certainly don't force them to hold the pencil until they're ready. You could just use salt or flour at home and they could form the letters with their fingertips before they even think about holding a pencil. I hope that's helpful, and please message me on Seesaw if you feel you need some clarification about something. And I will send the PowerPoint with this video, and hopefully everything is quite clear. Okay, thank you.